Yeah, buddy, y'all know what
Yeah,
it is, man.
buddy.
It's Thursday, the best day of the week.
Best day of the week.
Welcome to Dating University, the best podcast that your next door neighbor isn't listening to for some reason. Why is that? You need to fix that. I'm your co-host, Professor Charles, along with my lovely co-host,
Professor Brittany.
Yes, and here at
Yes.
Dating University, we discuss the good,
The bad
and the ugly.
of all things dating and relationships.
Absolutely. Brittany, how the heck are you?
Charles, I feel like every week gets worse and worse. Like if we're keeping 100, it's like to ugh.
Yeah.
This week is feeling like that.
It's
been a heavy 2025.
It's been heavy. It's really been heavy.
It's been heavy.
We not only just for our immediate, it's a ripple effect that is going so far beyond anything we could have imagined. They say elections have consequences, and these are the consequences. Complete uncertainty for millions and millions and millions of people. And all we can do is pretty much try to trudge forward and give the old college try.
Exactly.
But before we get started, and it just hit me that I think we need to do this. We want to have a quick moment of silence for two really good people that passed.
Ooh, yeah.
One I didn't know much, but I know the people that know him, and that says everything I need to know about this person.
Exactly.
And the other, whom I am well acquainted with, and is the husband of a good friend of mine. So so for about 30 seconds, we're gonna do a moment of silence for Micah Smith, because we want to say their names, and Brandon Leak. Amen. Sending love and light to all of the family members of those great souls. And we're gonna We're gonna keep on. We're gonna keep on because today we have a good show today.
Yes.
We have an
I'm
amazing
excited.
guest today. I mean, to have this person who I pretty much just came across just recently, and I said, I need you on the show. And he said, too easy. Was like, bet.
We love when guest professors volunteer to come on a show, and in a rather quick fashion as well.
Correct.
2 weeks.
I mean, it was just like, okay, cool, like, man, let's get it. So I told Brittany, I was like, Brittany, we gonna have to move because you saw we had the show last week with Scott Ware, and he's on the other side of the country, so
yeah,
we had to make that work. And then so this, I mean, I did my little research on this fella that we got today, and I think he gonna bring a little something to the university.
I love it.
So yeah, so I want to talk about Dr. Stephen W. Bell. He serves as senior pastor at All Nations Community Church, where his vision is to foster a kingdom community where lives are radically transformed by Christ. With over 20 years of pastoral leadership and counseling experience, he is committed to the philosophy that life is better in community. Dr. Bell holds a Bachelor of Science in Leadership and Ministry from Central Baptist College, graduating magna cum laude. He earned his Master of Divinity from Memphis Theological Seminary and was conferred the Doctor of Ministry and Pastoral Counseling from Liberty University in February 2025. A trailblazer in ministry, Dr. Bell was the first African American elected as Vice President of the Arkansas Baptist State Convention in 2015. He also served as a church planting strategist, equipping leaders and planting churches across urban areas in Arkansas. His pastoral journey includes significant roles as senior pastor, hospice chaplain, and advocate for spiritual and emotional well-being. Beyond the pulpit, Dr. Bell has a deep passion for mentorship and community service. He has volunteered with Habitat for Humanity, Big Brothers, and served on various boards. Notably, he serves as chairman of the board for Exalt Academy of Southwest Little Rock and was a member of the Police and Clergy Alliance. His life verse is Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Dr. Bell has been joyfully married for 20 years to his high school best friend, Jocelyn Bell. Together, they are raising 3 wonderful children, Noah, Olivia, and Robinson. With a passion for healing and restoration, Dr. Bell continues to inspire and guide others towards spiritual, emotional, and relational awareness. And he is also the host of the podcast, Mending Spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Dr. Stephen Bell.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Man, I should have gave you the Cliff Note version, man. I was like, oh my gosh.
We give all the accolades here. We give all the accolades.
Yes, we do not give anyone.
Oh, man.
You don't do that.
Too kind. Thank you. Thank you for having me on tonight.
No, thank you for coming on and being amicable and just really you were a very easy guest to get on. Sometimes we have guests and it's like pulling teeth, but this was very, very smooth and we appreciate it.
Very smooth. Don't forget.
I'll say this. I think in part, I'm brand new to this space, so I'm here to learn from the experts and try to build a brand. So, man, you. Go ahead and own that. Walk that thing out. So I'm accessible. I'm easy. You know what I'm saying? I got just 6 episodes under my belt. Y'all got like a bunch.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of a bunch, oh my gosh. We had such a huge snafu. I don't know what happened. I'm still waiting to hear back from Spotify.
Yeah.
All of our audio episodes were gone from Spotify.
Oh man.
Scary work.
6 seasons gone.
Oh man.
That's scary.
I'm
I
back.
was, yeah, exactly. I
But
was
just
devastated.
Charles saved the day, and he got it up and working. So, Spotify listeners, we are back. Facebook listeners, if you are currently watching, share this podcast, share the vlog, call your
Please.
friends, call your
Please.
enemies, call your lovers, call
Oh.
your whatever. What did Jada call it?
Entanglements?
Yes, call your entanglements.
Wow, that's a
Call
throwback.
everyone you know. Okay, tell them Dating University is live. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Oh my
Come on.
goodness. All right, so what are we talking about today, Brittany?
Today we are talking about something really positive. You know, the past couple of seasons, we have talked about red flags. We have talked about turnoffs. We have talked about deal breakers. And so, you know, Charles said, you know what, Brittany, I really have a show topic that I want to present to you. And I think it'll be beneficial for our daters. I have this amazing doctor that wants to come on and talk to the people about green flags. Green flags. So,
Come on.
Dr. Steve, what do you want us to call you? Dr. Steve, Dr. Bell, Dr. Steve Bell? What would you like?
You know, whatever feels comfortable. I mean, I'm still trying to get used to being called doctor in general, because of the recent conferral, you know, so I'm still trying to get used to that. But you can call me that dude up the street, you know what I'm saying?
No, Dr. Steve, Dr. Steve.
Yes,
Can
thank
you define for us what are green flags? Just give us a definition of what you feel like they are.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in short, I mean, green flags are typically those things that are healthy to build on. So certain qualities, certain characteristics, certain behaviors, certain things that a person tend to project and live out as their truth, that are positive, that give you the green light that it's okay to be in relationship with them, that you can share space with them, to say, hey, you deserve to be in my space. The reality is not everybody deserves to be in our space. If we're gonna keep it a buck, I mean, we have people in our life that tend to pull on us, and those who are green flag demonstrators, they tend to pour into us, right? And so those who pour into us, we want them in our orbit. We want them close to us, that will help build who we are, and that we begin to align shared ideas, shared visions, shared purpose. Where red flags say, "Hey, stay away from me." Matter of fact, get away from me, right?
Yeah.
And so when we talk about green flags, this is just saying, "Hey, I give you permission to be in my life."
That's good. So, Dr. Steve, when we talk about red flags, I'll be honest. I think about red flags. I think about love, the color of a heart. So, you know, in my past relationships, those red flags were very red. But I'm like, maybe the red isn't for stop. It's for love. That red means passion. It means intensity. It means love. I didn't think about the toxicity behind that red. So can you give us some key characteristics of some green flags?
Oh, absolutely. But just before I get into that, let me kind of address that red flag, that red color. That's a warning sign that says, "Hey, pay attention to me." Please. Okay. While again, red does symbolize some of the things you described, love and passion and all that, but we also can't allow those things to blind us of potential warning signs. Right? Because sometimes we can look through these rose-colored lenses and think that everything is great. and we totally ignore these warning signs that they're toxic, that they're sorry, they're lazy, they don't know how to articulate their emotions and feelings. I mean, and I could go all day about that. Okay, we can go all day. So
No,
we don't
this
want
this
the
means
red.
it's good. Yeah.
No, this is good stuff. This is good stuff.
Yeah. We're just very
Yeah.
expressive. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's all good.
Wow.
Yeah, and so what we want to do is kind of take a step back, right? We want to
Yeah.
see, okay, what are these characteristics that we need to be attentive to? And I hope, I don't want to be academic, so I just encourage anybody who's listening, man, just try to capture these, because this is not a comprehensive list. This is not exhaustive, but it does give you a basis of knowledge to kind of work with as you build it out yourself, right? So you begin to discern and lay out, say, hey, here's some things I believe are some green flag things I need to be attentive to. So the first thing I would say is that you got to be open and honest. Okay, that is key in communication. Okay, oftentimes when I'm doing marriage counseling, premarital counseling, man, we do 3 sessions. The first session, that's 2 hours long, is purely on communication. Because when you have people who come from different backgrounds, the way they learn communication may not be the way their partner has learned communication, right? So we got dismantle what they understood communication to be, and now build something that gives clarity. So open, honest communication. What does that look like? Here's a key word: intimacy. Okay, intimacy. It means intimacy, right? That means there's a level of transparency. Okay.
Because I just heard that this week, and I was like, what? And then here you come around with the confirmation. Let's go.
The Lord is speaking right now, right?
I'm trying to tell you.
That's good.
So there's a level of intimacy that must be inherent to every good relationship. And this is applicable to friendships or dating relationships, right? This is where we begin to practice transparency. That means I'm sharing my thoughts. Right, I'm not holding anything back. I'm laying it all on the table, and that's not always true in a lot of relationships. And many relationships fall apart because they hadn't learned this skill, and this is not a spiritual gift. Okay, so people are not born with the ability to communicate. This is a skill that must be developed over time with other people. Okay, you if you're having just conversations with yourself, that's not developing your skill of a communicator. All right, so that unholy trinity, me, myself, and I, is not a communication. Okay, all right. So that's the first one. That's a big one, and I can spend all day just on that topic alone. Okay, but the other one I would say is being able to share similar values, because I think in relationships, people don't communicate what it is that they value. What do they hold important, right? And so you get in a relationship and you may value quality time, and that person value leisure time. They don't want to be with you that much, right? And you can see where those values conflict with one another, and then you wonder why. And because you hadn't articulated that as a value, then it creates tension, right? And so what you want to do is begin to align shared values. So that goes back to that first thing. You got to communicate, boo. Okay. You got to communicate. You got to open up your mouth, and you got to share and align your vision with each other. Okay. Number 3, it's got to be a level of respect. You got to be able to respect one another. Okay. If that person has already demonstrated that they can disrespect their family member, like a mama or daddy them, then that's a red flag. So how do you think they can, so how they gonna respect you? and let's make it personal. Let's make it real personal. If they're not even respecting themselves, right? Managing their time, taking care of themselves, right? If they're not doing that, how do you think they're gonna now share that same sense of respect to you, right? So you want to evaluate and watch this, and you need to ask yourself, when have I seen some examples of you being respectful to somebody? Or the sum total of my experience with you is you disrespecting the people at the Waffle House or the Applebee's and the drive-through. That's all I see, right? So that's a warning sign. Okay, but if they, and I'm from the South, and we say yes, ma'am, no, sir, all that kind of stuff, right? And I'm not saying it has to be to that level, but gosh darn, I mean, you got to have some examples you can point to. I like how they respect their daddy, right? I'll say another one that's probably just as important. I think it's helpful to have mutual interest. Okay, I'm not saying that you gotta you gotta have everything in common, but you gotta have some common ground somewhere. Okay, it may be you enjoy watching, Law and Order, SVU, right? We down for that. We can sit up and watch Cross on Amazon Prime. Shout out to Cross, right? So there's got to be something. Do you enjoy walking? Can y'all share that together? And then the last one, and this is a big one, y'all. I need y'all lean in on this one. This is a big one, okay? Lean in on this one. Okay. This is the biggest one, okay? If you're watching, I need you to hear this one. This is a green flag. They have emotional intelligence.
Whew. All right. Show's over. It was nice having you on here, Dr. Steve.
Lord have mercy.
We appreciate your time, and
Lord have mercy.
Woo!
God help me. They're and that's both ways. That's not just on the guys. That's also on the ladies. They all need to demonstrate emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is not just me being self-aware of my own emotions, but also being able to provide a safe space to hold somebody else's emotions too. God, man, I felt something in my
all up in the shana now.
You know what I'm saying? Because and oftentimes we ascribe and say, hey, men, we're not emotional. We don't know how to communicate feelings, because I heard Jason Wilson say this in his book, Battle Cry. He says that men are men of action and oftentimes not men of articulation. But if you have a man who articulates his emotions and feelings, you need to hold that safely. Because that's rare for them to have that level of emotional intelligence. But we have some emotionally ignorant women that don't know how to handle how men emote other than anger. And then it becomes a toxic space, right? And they like, I don't know what to do with this. Okay. He's crying. I don't know what to do with this. He's disappointed. I don't know what to do with this. So it works both ways. You have to be emotionally intelligent to share and hold somebody else's emotions.
Whew. Dr. Steve, you have... Okay.
I just ran. I'm sorry.
No. That was not a rant. That was a dating university sermon. That we needed. You have some people that are different kind of learners. So can we do a little role play to show what a green flag would look like?
Come on.
Okay. So you and I, we are dating, and you said something that offended me.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to you to say, Steve, you hurt my feelings when you said that you didn't like my outfit.
Yeah.
How would you respond?
Yeah, Brittany, I'm so sorry. It was not my intent to hurt your feelings. Sometimes I'm just not aware of what my words may come across like. But I'm just asking for grace. I'm asking for grace so we can grow together. I love you, babe.
We're good.
Listen, that speaks to a whole that was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Because it speaks to because we asked this question to our daters in our post earlier today, right? And someone said sincere apologies without the words but and if.
Shout out to Jeannie.
Yes.
Bro, I was like,
yes. Yeah.
But what I have to appreciate about your apology is that you did not take offense to what I said to you, because you could have said, I'm sorry, but I didn't like that you came to me about that. Like, why are you being so sensitive? So now you have me on the defense because you're on the defense. And so now what is going to happen? An argument.
Yeah. And Brittany,
the situation, and I appreciate that.
And I'm sorry, and I think I just did it. So this is actually kind of perfect. I didn't listen completely as I was trying to jump in with a response. And that's what happens in those instances, right? I hear you, and all I'm stuck on is offended. I was hurt.
Right.
right? I got to come back for you, right?
Mhm.
And the reality is that we have to slow it down a little bit, step out of ourselves. There's another skill, and we could probably add this to the green flag list, but you got to practice this thing called empathy. And I need to feel with you. Okay, and that speaks to emotional intelligence, right? The emotionally immature can't handle that, right? Because they are easily offended by your offense. How dare you be offended by something I said? And
Right.
then we'll say things like, "Well, I was coming from a good place. You need to can you start there?" No, the offense is there, and
Yeah.
now my job is to feel with you,
Mhm.
not to further the offense, right? And so sometimes we have to diffuse ourselves, and you probably heard people say this even in just casual discussion, that in conversations, what you want to do is, as you're listening to your partner, take a step and slow down. Just can you paraphrase back to what they said? Okay,
Mhm.
what I hear you saying, and you don't have to, and I didn't do it in this example on purpose. Th- What I hear you saying is you offended when I said that you didn't look good in that outfit. Okay. What it does is it calls me to take a step to really see you. In South Africa, they have this term called Ubuntu, which means to see you, to see your humanity, right? And my job is to Ubuntu you. I need to see you. I need to
Mhm.
feel
Mm.
you, okay? Before I act, because that immediate action can be a harmful, hurtful action.
Yeah, the knee jerks or something else.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Goodness.
guilty. I'm
So
really
that, I mean,
guilty.
that was a good example. Can I ask
Yeah.
another one?
Go for it.
So this one is for the ladies. So again, you and I are dating.
Hmm.
Um, we are talking about something, and you become emotional and you start crying.
Oh man.
What
Mm.
kind of response, or how can I respond that would be a green flag coming from a man?
Yeah. So, and this is delicate. I mean, there's
Yeah.
this phrase that I use. It's just sometimes it's just a simple art of presence,
Yes.
just to be there, right?
Yes.
Not try to
Okay.
reinterpret that person's emotions, their feelings, their tears.
Mm,
Okay. Not to cry. I hate to say it like this. Not to cry with them in a sense,
sure.
but
Right.
but
Yeah.
be
Right.
but to be with them, because what you don't want to do is take the attention away from the man who's emoting like this, but to let them know that you are there with them, and then gently ask, how can I support you, or what can I do for you in this moment? Okay. And he may not, and I'm gonna be honest, he may not even know how to even articulate that. Okay, he may not even
Okay.
know how to tell you what he needs, because so often with men, we hadn't always been asked that question, right? Nor have we always had the space to be able to emote. And so when we emote and you ask, how can I support you? Oh man,
It was like, I
that's a
don't
good
know,
question.
man. I don't like. How am I supposed to know what that is? Like you said earlier, Dr. Steve.
Yeah.
Like men are actionable. Like
Hmm.
we take that into consideration well before we get into the verbal part of it. Like you say, because
Hmm.
we're not kind of raised that way. We're not
Sure.
built in that space as so much as women are, because they are
Hmm.
well more in touch with their feelings. They can articulate it. That's what they have their community, like you said.
Yeah.
Men really don't have that, and so yeah, we usually walk around with a whole bunch of baggage. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, that
Yes,
presence thing is that's
it's big.
come sit next to me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And I'm
it's
gonna push it. I'm gonna push it too. Gary Chapman has a book called "Love Five Love Languages," and one of the
mhm,
things he talks about is understanding how a person communicates love. And if you understand your partner's or your man's love language, communicate that back to him. Okay, so if he has a love language of touch, and he always touching on you, he's always rubbing on you and holding you, well, do that to him in that moment. Okay, if he
Got
if
it.
he's one of
Mm.
quality time, you give him quality time. If he's acts of service, go cook him a burger or something, something, right? But that
listen.
means
Give me a
that
burger
means we
while
need
I'm
to
crying
know.
and see if I'll be like, all right, you
Come on.
got onions on there? Okay.
pickles, mustard. That is good. I asked that for that specific reason because as women, we are nurturers. And so we don't want to feel like failures if we're trying to nurture and you're like, well, I don't know how to be nurtured right now. So ladies, you're hearing it from them. Don't be offended. I think that's a great idea. What is their love language and apply it there. That is golden.
I like that.
That is golden.
Yeah. And I encourage you, if you don't know their love language, find out now. Right? Find out now. There are resources out there. You can Google 5 love languages, and they have a free tool out there.
Yeah, it's like a 10-minute test,
Yeah, easy money.
Y'all can do it, and then y'all can discuss, and that's a whole nother layer of intimacy because you are connecting more. You can understand each other better, and then you can apply that for when the tension does show up. You know what I'm saying, unintentionally or prayerfully not intentionally. So I like
all
that.
of that. Yeah, and even with that particular resource, they have an app called Love Nudge, and they actually give you recommendations of things you could even do. So, for instance, my wife, it was quality time and acts of service, and so it gave me some suggestions on things I could do. So one of them was like, leave a love note, under the pillow, and watch this. And here's where you don't do too much. And this was a revelation for me. Don't do too much. So I needed, and I may have been words of affirmation, right? And so I left a note, but watch this. And then I left also a gift card for her to go to the spa.
Nice.
She totally ignored the gift card because she was so enamored by the love letter because that was her love language. And I asked, hey, did you see the gift card? Did you schedule? She said, what gift card? Cool.
We'll get to that later.
No, but you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. She totally ignored it. She's like, what gift card? Right? So just do what their love language is and stop right there. Okay, don't do too much because then you start getting into other dangerous territory of not really seeing them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is good. We talk about green flags, and the last 2 examples spoke to relationships. And we're on this show talking about dating and relationships, but relationships transcends spouses.
Right.
We can talk about friends. We can talk about coworkers, parent-child relationships, family relationships. Can you speak about a green flag in terms of like being a good friend, in terms of a good coworker? What are ways that manifests in other areas of relationships?
I would say they won't change that much. Okay. Then what you have is how much of that you give to them based on the kind of person they've demonstrated or how you categorize them. Okay. So think of relationships as a pyramid. Okay. The people on the bottom are going to be those people who are going to continue to pull on you. They're going to always ask you for something, demand something from you. So you restrict them. Right. But the further you go up to that pyramid, it gets more narrow. And that means that there's fewer people going up that you can really allow to guard your heart. Okay. So that doesn't change that much. The difference between friendships and a relationship is you not only allow them to hold your heart, but you also share life with them. That's the relationship. But a friendship, you get to determine how much of your heart you want to let them hold. And if they are pulling from you, you keep them at the bottom. You restrict intimacy with them, right? You don't owe them communication like you would the people that you deem are beneficial to you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to know how to categorize people, and oftentimes we don't know how to do that because they're good people. They smell good. They take me to lunch. Then you put them higher than they need to until it's too late, and you realize, man, they are hurting me, not helping me. If you can't identify how they've helped you, if you can't identify how they poured into you, then you got to demote them. You have to demote them, and you don't have to draft an email memo and say, "Hey, as of today, effective immediately, you've been demoted to the 4th level of friendship.
You were no longer a friend. You have been demoted to associate.
Dr. Sean, I'm gonna just call you on three-way and have you talk to the people that I'm demoting.
Hey,
I'm
yo.
gonna say, hey, are you there? Are you there? Okay, hold on. Okay, Dr. Sean, go ahead and say it. What were you gonna say? Okay. That's what I'm gonna start doing.
Yeah. So it's not that far from those same green flags I mentioned earlier. It's just about how much of that you give to them based on how they fit in those tiers you created for yourself.
Mhm.
And that makes so much sense because I've seen ex-friends of mine or associates be really, really, really good partners, but awful friends.
Mm.
Awful, and I
Yeah,
always
I've seen
wondered,
that. Yeah.
like you'll
Mhm.
put your all into your spouse, but you're an awful person. I mean, quick story: you have a friend that's a vegetarian. You invite them over, and all you have is a bunch of chicken, steak, bacon, not a grain of salad, not nothing, no
Mm,
starch, and it's like,
yeah.
oh, you figure it out. Now, if that's your friend and you invited them over to your space, be hospitable.
Come on.
Consider their dietary restrictions.
Correct.
It
Yeah.
don't take much. I've had friends, and I think it's the cutest thing. A green flag is, like you said, knowing love language. It
Yep.
transcends relationships.
It does.
I love, words of affirmations, or I love like little trinkets to show that you're thinking of me.
Sure.
And so going to my best friend's house, she said, "Oh, I saw this and thought of you. You were wearing a
Come
headband
on.
in your other picture, so I thought you would like this headband.
Man.
Didn't ask for it. I think it's
Right.
the cutest headband." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh, wow." Or you know what, Britt? You talked about you were out of this candle. I have an extra one.
Come
I thought of
on.
you.
Love it.
Green flags.
Hmm.
Even that word, I had a colleague today. I know you're overwhelmed with what's going on at the job. So I want to assist you in your daily activities to lighten the
Yeah.
load.
Mm.
Green
Yeah.
flags. When corporate America, no matter where you are, can be such a cutthroat space
For sure.
where
Lord
you
have
don't want
mercy.
to. You can say the wrong thing, make the wrong move, and people will throw you under the bus. But when you have
Mhm.
people that look out in your genuine interest and know how you feel emotionally, and are like, let me
Yeah.
lighten your workload, even though I may have a little extra. I know what you're going through, so let me assist. Whoa.
Mm.
Mm.
Whew.
Yeah.
I tell you, man.
Hmm.
It's
Mhm.
something like it's
That's good.
about friendships, man. I mean, because
Yeah.
these are people that you choose to be in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Hmm.
familial, where hey, this is the family that you're born into.
Yeah.
And to be like one of my best friends right now is in the comments right now, and
Yeah.
this gentleman from day one has been amazing. Like
Yeah.
and I love it because it's not one of those like I'm keeping score type things.
Come on. That's good.
And we do for each other
Mm.
absolutely when we can do for each other, and that's where our friendship is like the solidifying of it is because we understand each other and we connect on so many other different levels, but it's that trust for me.
Hmm.
It's that trust. It's that safe space where I know, because I've been hurt by having male friends. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
as a guy, that's already a hard thing to be like, all right, that's my friend.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
when you get hurt and then you like,
Come on.
you look at everybody else sideways because like, all right, something's gonna happen. You gonna try to play me, you gonna try to step on me, whatever. But
Wow.
when you have that mutual respect, like you said,
Come on.
it's something great about having that. And like you said about the pyramid,
Mm-hmm.
because these are the people that like you said, that are pouring back in. They're not just taking and
Yeah.
taking and taking and taking and taking. Like, I've had that in my life, and I promise you, I am never going back
Come
to
on,
any
man.
relationship,
Yeah.
friendship,
Right. I mean,
whatever. I'm never going back to one where it's not reciprocal.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's a big word for me. Like, reciprocal is such a huge word for me, and I think we
Yeah.
all need to be a little more in that mindset, not just taking and being an abuser of someone's kindness and
Mm-hmm.
their friendship and then their love for you, or yeah. All right, that was my tangent right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's good. And even as I was listening to you, as you were talking about those characteristics, you looking at reciprocal kind of relationship, the word that came to my mind is it has to be consistent, right? And it's true with all
Ooh,
these type of green flags. One time ain't enough. Okay, you told me that you're going to the store one time, and now you're communicating. No, it needs to be consistent,
Right.
right? And I think sometimes we let people off the hook because they showed us one time. Okay.
Ooh, we.
Oh,
see,
did I look for you one time? It's like, what? What are we talking about?
I had a
Oh my
feeling.
gosh.
I literally had a feeling this was going to be one of those shows.
I knew it. The
So
minute he started talking, I
I'm
said,
just going to go ahead and pass the collection plate
yes.
around.
My bad.
Close the door. No, we're not going. We're not going.
So, I have a really interesting question, and I hope it's
Yeah.
not too deep. Are we born with green flags inside of us, or do we learn them as we
That's a
grow
great
up?
question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these are things that are learned, as you think about some of the things I talked about, communication, empathy, those are learned behaviors, right? Those are not just something that are just inherent. Now, I think there are times that some tend to have that. I look at I'll give you an example. My 4-year-old is a great communicator. He just knows how to communicate.
Yeah.
We were getting out the car the other day, and this joke was before he could get out his seat, but he said, "Okay, sunglasses, check. Spider-Man, check." And he was trying to make sure he was
You said he's 4 or 14?
4.
14?
4.
Like, we're
Trapped in a 4-year-old body, right?
Right.
So so
Little man.
I think some have some of these kind of green flags that's already there, right? But most of these are skills that can be developed. So what we don't want to do is let people off the hook and say, well, I wasn't born with that, or I didn't come from this environment where we did that, right? We
Now,
go
that
there
is
real
one.
quick.
Whew,
My mom was a crackhead, so I don't know how to be present for somebody, right? No. At some point, at
Dr.
some point.
Sean, Dr. Sean,
Steve,
you have really touched on something with that,
not Sean.
because the willful ignorance of people
That's
to
my alter
exhibit
ego.
green flags, the willful ignorance, and you gave
Mm-hmm.
the exact reason. My upbringing, my
Mm-hmm.
childhood, I'm not
Yep.
capable of doing that.
Or this
Yeah.
is how I
I don't.
am.
Yeah, I don't know about
My
that.
favorite. That's just how I am. I'll share something personal. As I said, my parents were actually drug addicts. Growing up, and so that level of communication, vulnerability, transparency, all those things I talked about, was not something that was a culture or environment that I grew up in. I could keep blaming mama, daddy, and them, right? I could keep blaming them, but then who suffers is my wife, my children. If I stay
Mm,
willfully ignorant, and there's resources out there that can increase my knowledge, my understanding, my ability to be a husband, a father, and a friend. Like, come on now, stop with all that foolishness and grow up. Stop being so doggone immature, because immaturity says, I don't know, so I'm not going to try to learn. Mature, grown people realize I can't keep blaming everybody else. I have to take ownership of my life And I cannot, and I'm doing this not for my own benefit. So me learning and growing and maturing as a man, it's not just for me.
Just got
It's
chills.
for those around me, not just my family, my friends, the people around me. They benefit from this. And watch this. And then you become a culture breaker and a culture setter. Come on. Come on. Hey, I like what Dee Dee just said. She said the unwillingness to grow up is selfish. I love that.
Very.
I love that.
Yes.
That's a bar. Hey, that's a bar. Come on.
The First Lady has spoken. Read that
That's
again.
my wife, man. That's
First
my wife,
Lady of
man.
the
She
EU
got
has
that
spoken.
on. She got that on her.
Come on. Come on.
That is
Man. You know, because I think at some point we gotta take ownership of this, and this is about growth, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we continue to be a product of the environment we're in. So watch this. If you never change your environment, you will always stay in perpetuity a product of that environment. So maybe you need to surround yourself with people who live and look different than you, that can help grow you up. Okay, change your circle, change your environment. Because the idea, wherever you're planted, you're going to produce the fruit of it.
Correct. Correct.
So you gotta find another place to plant yourself. You know, who is it that you look up to that can pour down into you?
wow.
Stop being around people that you keep pouring into. Yeah, that's free. That's free because we like being our own expert. We like to be the guy, the person, right? So I'm always around lesser people pouring into them, rather than sitting and getting poured into and raising my level of maturity and excellence and all this. At some point, if I want to be something better and different, let me get around somebody who can pour down on me. Well, I felt like preaching right there. That was in my throat.
You know,
Listen.
usually when we get to the end of a show, we highlight you,
Yeah.
and we need all the details on services, times.
Yeah.
We'll get there because I need to tune. Yeah, for real.
Too easy.
This is
Too easy.
This is too good. This
Yeah.
is too good.
Yeah.
Is there such thing as too much communication?
No. No. You rather overshare than undershare, and I'm still learning that. I'm still learning that. You know, because sometimes I get in my own head to say, "Oh, she may not need to know this," but if first of all, if she's a communicator, right, and I value her, then I would rather overshare than undershare because I value you. Okay, because I don't want to keep finding myself in the spot. Well, I didn't know I need to tell you that. I mean, come on. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
She always said overshare, tell you everything. Come on now.
I think that's the difference between being honest and transparent. Honesty is being asked a question and given the truth. Transparency is giving the truth without being provoked to give.
Come on.
Ooh, Charles.
Come on, man.
Charles.
Walking heavy, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a collection plate, but I have a collection.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'll take it. Listen, this mortgage ain't cheap. You know what I mean?
I got the collection crystal.
Yeah.
Okay. That is good. But then we go back to some people can't handle the truth. Some people can't handle that transparency. So it's hard when you want to give these green flags and people don't want to receive it.
Sure.
So would you rather live in the ignorance of it? Would you rather me be closed off? Would you rather me keep it brief? Would you rather me be dishonest? What do you want?
I would rather take the brunt of your anger about my truth than to hold on to my truth. and not
Mm,
resent you.
man, man.
Like I would, yeah, I would rather you be angry at me for my truth.
That's good.
And it's something that I'm learning as well, especially as
That's
as
so
a
good.
fairly new husband. You know, I spent years, you know, just it's been me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
I didn't owe anybody anything. Like I would tell people I'm not an open book, but you ask the right question, I'll give you the answer. But I cannot
Hmm.
be that way in my marriage. Like I have to be able to say what I need to say to my wife, and my wife has to be able to say what she needs to say to me.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we gotta provide that safe space for that to occur too. You know,
Yeah.
Correct.
because even in those moments where there is that honest and transparent communication, if you're not providing a safe space, if you are already jumping on them and coming off antagonistic, and already got your comments and response already preheated, right?
Mhm.
Then you're not creating a safe space for that level of transparency. If anything, now you're creating a toxic environment where they already come in knowing you're going to come at them a certain kind of way. So why would they come at you? Why would they
Yep.
come communicate with you if they know you got that smoke already prepped, right?
I
Mm,
mean,
get on with that now.
yes.
And
I
I don't want us to
mean,
confuse, and I don't want us to confuse that because you identify those green flags, that does not mean perfection either. Okay. That don't expect for that person to be perfect, even if they perform all those green flags, they checking all the box. Don't think, oh man, they are perfect. They got it going on. No, don't let that smooth taste fool you now. You
My
still
God.
need to be be growing and developing and maturing, but hey,
what?
hey, look for the
Really?
green flags. Honor those green flags, but
Honor
don't
them.
don't don't allow that to fool you. Okay. Because
Mm.
some people, and I've just seen this oftentimes in premarital, where people come into the premarital session, everything's perfect. Oh, we don't ever have an argument, and all this. They think they've already married the ideal. They're marrying the ideal person, but the issue is that they neither were being real with one another. Because for them, the goal was marriage. No, let me back up. Let me rephrase that. The goal was the wedding, not
Right.
even the marriage. Okay. So they're real just to a point to get to the altar, and then it becomes an ordeal later because they were not real, and then they start looking for a new deal later. Okay. So pay
I'm
attention.
gonna run out of money by the end of this here, but
I just got crystal. Okay,
That's
whatever.
Crystal.
Yeah, I just got the crystal. Yeah.
Come on.
No, that's
Come on.
that's
Yeah, because there still needs to be some grace, right? So as a friendship,
I
as a
agree.
relationship, you see the green flags. As I said earlier, honor those green flags, right? But then also let's give people grace enough to, if they don't communicate, if they're not practicing empathy, right? If they're not doing some of these things we identified earlier, then still give them grace. They're not perfect. Right. Then we buy into this fallacy of perfection. And that's no, nobody's perfect. Nobody.
Dr.
So stop
Steve.
fooling yourself.
I have another question. I'm asking for me. I may be asking for everyone.
Mm.
What is the difference, or is there a difference between giving grace and then being long suffering?
God.
Mm.
Because I
Mm.
hear I've been in relationships where they ask for grace for the same thing, and it'll be for
Yeah.
years. And it's like I give
Mm.
grace for years, but it turns into now I'm long suffering. So
Sure.
Mm.
is there, I'm not gonna say a time frame, but is there a breaking point where we need to stop with the grace and
Yeah.
have a real conversation of maybe you need to take your green flags elsewhere. Or maybe them green flags can turn
Mm,
beige, turn brown, turn black,
yeah,
and we need to put it in the washer. Or you just,
yeah.
yeah.
Man, that is a great question. I would say that would depend upon, first of all, the relationship, and what your level of long suffering you're able to endure.
Okay.
Okay, because the idea of grace is to give to someone what they don't deserve, right? We know that, we believe that, but if the pattern is consistent
Okay.
with no signs of improvement, okay, so let's put it on the table. Okay, if they are not going to either like a therapy session, if they're not getting some type of help with whatever their deficiency is, or they're not demonstrating any signs of improvement and changing, well, then it's about time for us to bid ourselves good day. Okay, I'll give you an example. My wife, years ago, early in our marriage, 3 years, I would say, and I was still selfish, independent, still trying to function as if I was a single man, playing my video games all times of the night, not spending time with her, and all this kind of stuff. I remember I made a stupid decision. I went out and bought a motorcycle without even consulting with her.
Oh,
I
you
came
wanted to
home,
die.
said, "Hey."
Oh, you wanted to die. Oh,
And
okay.
you're
All
still
right.
here to tell the story. Thank you,
I
Man,
mean,
Jesus.
you still here to tell the
grace,
story. That was
grace,
great.
grace, grace, immeasurable grace, right? And I remember, I got home. I said, "Hey, come take me, go pick up my car," because I drove the motorcycle home. And again, no conversation. I remember, it got to a point she just kind of grabbed me, and I can see the pain in her eyes. I said, I really messed up this time, right? And from that point on, I realized I could not continue to function as some selfish, independent, immature person. Now, did I change like immediately? No, but there certainly was a mindset change and intentional efforts to change that was measurable. You can see that I was being much more conscious, much more transparent in my spending, and that stuff started coming way down, right? But I had to see her pain and then look at myself and say, well, I continue to allow this kind of pain to exist in her eyes. I said, nah, I can't do that, homie. I can't. Right.
Wow.
And so at some point, that person has to demonstrate a pattern, a consistent pattern of change.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if it's small. Okay. Even if it's small. So I went from spending whatever I spent for the motorcycle to like, $50. And from $50 to $10 without, saying a whole lot. Right. But it was incremental growth. Emphasis, incremental growth. Okay.
Change behavior. Because we spoke
Change
about that
behavior.
on the show. Change behavior is the best apology. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Because you apologize with your actions and your behavior, not just with your words. I'm sorry. I'm sorry ain't enough. For that person who keep telling you I'm sorry, that ain't enough. Show
Oh
me.
my gosh.
I'm
Triggered.
sorry, ain't enough.
Triggered.
Put that on
And
a
what my
t-shirt. I'm
hey,
sorry,
and
ain't
what my
enough.
wife said with her eyes, she said, "Show me, show me,
Exactly.
you changed."
Exactly. There were guys I dealt with that said, "Why do I have to say I'm sorry? I'm showing you I'm sorry." I'm words and action. Both can exist at the same time.
Yep.
Acknowledge that you were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just bring me flowers. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk. Acknowledge why you're buying me flowers.
Right.
Not hard.
Man.
I'm having you on speed dial because I need to really. You said what? Hold on. I got
Listen,
something for that.
the audience has spoken, man. My,
Can you talk, Dr. Steve? Can you talk to them real quick for me? You said say what?
because
Come
I'm
on.
telling you, yeah. You are now chaplain of Dayton University.
Well, seriously.
I
Yeah.
need you
Come
to know
on.
that.
Come on. Man, I accept.
That comes with the automatic tenure. That you don't have to worry.
Oh,
You're good in the
yeah,
hood.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. I am
Oh
full.
man.
We need another hour, but
We need another day, another hour, another day, another week.
my God.
Hey,
Dr. Steve.
just holler at your boy. Just holler at your boy.
Oh, we will be hollering. Yes, absolutely. Dr.
Really.
Steve, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah,
And you're the expert.
you
We are
too
just
kind.
here. You're the expert.
We
Just
understand.
You too kind.
thank you so much for coming. This is not your last time on the show. You will be
Well,
back.
well, I
Absolutely.
see that there's comments coming in. Part two, please. Okay, too easy.
Please,
Too
please,
easy. It'll be my honor.
please,
I'm,
please.
I,
Yeah,
I'm trying to get my words together.
yeah. We read in a book last week
Yeah.
about having a men's group and the importance of space among men in
Yeah.
that group to be
I
able
think
to articulate themselves. We may have to have just a weekend, we'll pick a random one, where the men just Dating University, of course, sponsored,
Mm,
have a men's group
yeah.
I love
where
it.
you all meet on Zoom or meet in person. I will rent the space and just talk it out.
Yeah.
Talk it
Yeah.
out. I see too many of our men walking around burdened,
Mm,
closed off,
yep.
hurting,
Yep.
right? And when
Yep.
they express themselves, and I've heard women say, "Well, you too soft. You're too emotional." And what happens?
Shut it
They're
off
closed
completely.
off.
Because you won't
Come
catch me
on.
slipping again.
They are
You won't
closed off.
never catch me slipping
Come on,
again.
man. Come on. Come on. Come
And
on.
that
And then
hurts.
wonder
And then you get
why
mad
you
at
won't
me
talk to
because I'm
me?
shut off. Don't get mad at me because I'm shut off. You shut me off.
You shut
I
me up.
thought you were a safe space for me to land.
Come on, man.
You showed
Come
me
on.
different.
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Woo.
And can I go
Woo.
here? On the flip
Please.
side, men, sometimes you have to see a woman's frustration as her being expressive, not always nagging. It's coming from a place of hurt. So
Yeah.
sometimes if you open your ears and are more receptive, you may see a tone change, but it's not always
Sure.
nagging.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
woman expressing herself is not nagging. Okay?
Yeah.
Listen.
Let
Mm.
me
Both have to
can I
listen.
add to that?
That's a
Can I add to that?
Yeah,
'Cause I think
absolutely.
you said something that's heavy, right? Because think of the culture that we've grown up in where nagging has been such a negative thing being said in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so whatever I deem as nagging, then I don't have to deal with that because my culture has told me that that's just who she is. She just nags. I don't have to listen to that.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
let her nag, right? And so now the emotionally intelligent man has to level up his listening skills to discern, okay, and really dismantle that whole notion of nagging as a non-issue. But there's a real issue there. But because I'm so emotionally immature, I label that as nagging and say I ain't got to listen to that because you just nag. That's all you do is nag.
Yes.
That's
And what did we do?
emotionally immature.
Close off. Exactly. Emotionally
Yep.
immature. We close off too.
Mhm.
This was, oh my gosh, this was too good for me.
Yeah.
Professor Charles, do you have anything?
not a
Let's
thing.
just
No, I am wow. Yeah. Part 2
Yeah.
very soon. We'll discuss. I'll tap in with you and okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Mm.
Here's the time of the show where we give our guests the spotlight, and here's where you can tell people where to find you, what
Yeah.
you got going on, upcoming projects. So without further ado,
My man, well, thank you so much for allowing me to share in the Dating University. It's been certainly an honor to share my little wisdom and experience in my journey. Really, I don't have a lot going on. The fact that I just finished my dissertation and defended it successfully has been enough for me.
Woo!
Okay. And so right now, where I'm spending my time is really building out the Mending Space Podcast. That's where you'll find a lot of our content. So if you're on Facebook, make sure you look up the Mending
Yes.
Space Podcast with Dr. Steve, where we talk about emotions. We talk about grief. We talk about healing and restoration from a practical, spiritual point. I believe that it's not just enough to minister to the soul. We want to minister to the whole. We want you to be the best
Ooh.
version of yourself. And I want to be your friend. I want to be your doctor. I want to be your therapist to help you get there. Thank you again for having me on. Look forward to being on again real soon.
my God, my
Dr.
God.
Steve, are you a pastor? I heard
Yeah,
pastor.
yeah.
Yeah, tell us about your church.
Yeah. So I pastor All Nations Community Church in Homewood, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. So we're about 25 minutes south of Chicago. Our church meets on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. You can go to our website, ancchurch.org. And you can get more information about our ministry. One of the things that we believe in is that life is better in community. So one of the things I'm probably most impressed with is a phrase from Resma Menakem, who wrote the book, My Grandmother's Hands. He said this, and I love this. He says, those who have been healed have a responsibility to the community to help with this healing. And so we believe that we owe it to one another, that if we've been healed, I owe you help to your healing.
Absolutely.
Can I be a guest on your show? I want to be a guest on your show.
Please.
I feel like
Please, come on. We're gonna put you on.
Yes, sir.
And can you give us that link again? Is there a way to do online giving? We would like to give a love offering from Dating University, if you can. How do you guys accept, or is it online giving?
Yeah, if you go to our website, just ancchurch.org, and you'll see the Give app or Give link, and just click on that. You can give that way.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me drop that in.
Let me from Dating University. You will definitely get a gift from Dating University. Thank you so much.
Let me clean that up for you. I'm gonna type it in for you. Make sure that y'all got it.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, there it is.
Is this
check that out. Yep, that's it. That's my current series called Christian-ish.
Love this.
Listen, God ain't finished with me yet. I got some things that I'm still working through.
Yeah, so we're talking through some of that, trying to demyth some ideas about what it means to be Christian. So we're trying to give you some solid content to really live out your faith out loud.
This is good. So we have just made a donation. Give me 1 second.
Oh man!
Yes, we are so blessed to have you on the show. We just thank you. Just thank you.
It is my honor. It is my honor. Thank you. It's definitely been a treat.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes. So I'm gonna go back and listen to the episode so I can see how I can implement some of these wonderful practices that you all are demonstrating, so I can level up the Mending Space Podcast.
Listen, I am at your disposal, sir. Any question? I got you. You have
fantastic.
You have blessed Dayton University.
Beautiful.
Today.
Oh man, it's been a blessing.
All right, so man, thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah.
To Dating University tonight. We want to thank Dr. Stephen Bell for wrecking the classroom.
It's right.
Talking and giving us practical and amazing tools for knowing green flags, admiring green flags, and making them applicable to your life. So we thank you all for listening. We thank you all for watching. Listen, I'm you normally I have a whole good. I can run the whole ending like it's nothing.
We usually
Today
do,
is
and I'm just
something
sitting here
different.
like,
Today I'm just
I have nothing. Yeah,
Told you,
definitely.
rocking with
I need like an after church nap. I need an after podcast nap.
I think that's
I'm
what it
full.
is, Bert. I need a piece of good church chicken,
Hey,
and I
man,
need
come
to go
on, preach,
find me a couch. Yeah,
preach,
all right.
preach.
But thank y'all again for tuning in. We love y'all so much.
Love you
This
so
show again is brought to you by Dayton University. Please, if you ever feel so inclined, please go to our shop. There are links in all of our socials. Buy something new, buy something old, buy something blue. I don't care.
Man.
I'm gonna get out of here before I put my foot even further in my mouth. We love y'all. We'll
We
catch
love
y'all
you. Have a
next
good
one.
evening. Yeah, yeah.